Hi. So remember the 6 words from the video about halting a freakout. My nervous system just got activated. Remember that one? Those 6 words are great for creating a pause when your nervous system fires your attachment patterns. In that moment, most people either go along with the automatic response or they try to fight against it. And both of those tend to make things harder. So what can you do instead? After the 6 words, 2 questions in this order. First, what does this feeling remind me of? Not who is doing this to me right now. What does this feeling remind me of? Where have I felt this before? And second, is this now or is this old? Is the reaction fitting for what is happening right now, or is my nervous system responding to something it has been carrying for a long time? This approach has roots in the work of Byron Katie, who built an entire inquiry process around questioning the thoughts and stories we attach to our experiences. And Peter Crone, I love his work, he works with the idea that our reactions are almost always echoes of older unresolved experiences rather than accurate responses to what is happening right now. And both are worth exploring if these approaches align with you. Now let me go a little deeper into why these 2 questions work, because understanding the mechanism makes them easier to use when your nervous system is lighting up. When your attachment pattern fires, activity in your brain shifts towards the emotional processing centers, the parts responsible for language, perspective, clear thinking. Those go quieter, not offline completely, but reduced. This is why in the middle of activation you can feel like a completely different person than your calm and grounded self. Neurologically, something different is happening. The 2 questions work because they require your brain to get specific and curious. And specific and curious are language brain centers, language brain functions. The moment you genuinely ask, what does this feeling remind me of? And wait for an answer, you are pulling activity back toward the thinking brain. You're not suppressing the feeling, you're getting curious about it. And curiosity creates just enough distance from the automatic response that something else becomes available. Now here is what each attachment style tends to find when they sit with these questions. The reactive pattern. When you ask, what does this feeling remind me of? This often lands on very early experiences of inconsistency. The feeling underneath the current activation is usually something like, I cannot tell if this person is going to be there for me. And that uncertainty is old. It probably predates the current relationship by decades. And when you ask, is this now or is this old? Most of the time, the honest answer is, this is old. This person is going quiet for 2 hours is not the same as the inconsistency that you grew up with. So your nervous system just filed it under the same category because it feels familiar. Sorry, got distracted by noise in the other room. The detached pattern, when you ask, what does this feeling remind me of? This often lands on experiences where emotional closeness led to disappointment, or where needing something created problems. The reaction of pulling back is not indifference, it's just old protection. And when you ask, is this now or is this old? The honest answer is often, this person here and now is safe, and my nervous system is just running an old survival pattern. And the push-pull pattern, this one can be harder to sit with because the feeling is more contradictory. What it reminds you of is often genuinely painful. The kind of early environment where the person you needed was also the person that maybe you were a bit afraid of. Being curious about that without judgment takes some practice, but even a small moment of, I see what's happening here, creates a different relationship to the reaction. A common mistake people make with this tool is rushing it. They ask the questions too fast and get a surface answer and move on. Or they use the questions as a way to talk themselves out of the feeling rather than actually getting curious about the feeling. The goal is not to convince yourself the feeling is wrong. Every feeling is valid. The feelings are just information. So the goal is to understand what the feelings are really responding to. Another common mistake is skipping the first question and going straight to, is this now or is this old? The first question is what gives the second one its answer. You have to locate the older feeling first before you can honestly assess whether the current moment is really calling for that reaction. I have used this tool myself more times than I can count. There have been moments in my own relationships where something activated me, seemingly to appear that it was completely about the present moment, this person, this situation right now. Yet when I sat with the first question honestly, what does this feeling remind me of? What came up had nothing to do with who was in front of me. It was much older than that. And that recognition, that exploring, gave me space to choose how I wanted to or needed to respond. 6 words to create the pause, 2 questions to get factual about what is happening, and that space between activation and response is where something different becomes possible. When you catch the reactive pattern at play, when there is even a small moment of, this panic feels older than this text message, something shifts. There is just enough space to choose a different response rather than being completely inside the reaction. And when you catch the detached pattern at play, when there's a moment of, am I pulling away and this person might actually be safe? There is just enough space to stay present rather than trying to disappear. That space may feel small, but it grows with practice. So these questions are a tool you can start using this week. Don't expect perfection. You may not catch it yet. You might only notice after the fact in reflection. That is a great starting point. Just try to practice these when you can. Run the 2 questions and see what comes up. So good luck practicing. I'll see you in the next video. Be kind to yourself in the process. I love you. Take care of yourself. And I'm sending you peace and light.